What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cow Hustles back with another video, and on this video I'm actually going to be going over everything you need to know about futures trading. You see, a lot of people have been asking me, should I switch over to futures? Should I go from Forex to futures? Should I start learning futures? And the simple answer is yes, you should always learn another skill set. Futures, Forex, crypto, stocks, they're all financial markets that you need to take advantage of. And on this video I'm going to be explaining to you guys how I'm going to be taking this transition. We are expanding here. We're not fully transitioning. I will always forever trade Forex. I will always forever trade crypto. I will always forever trade every financial market out there, because with the skill set and with the knowledge that you learn and with the actual strategies, they can be applied to every single market. Getting straight into it, there are a couple things I'm going to go over. Number one, why futures? There are a couple of reasons why I'm expanding to futures. We're going to go over ticks and contracts, how you can measure calculations of movements in the market, what pairs to trade, how to correlate some of these pairs from other markets over. We're going to teach you how to manage risk effectively, what platforms you can even trade futures on. I'm going to go into a live example, and I'm going to teach you guys how to really scale up, how you guys can actually turn this thing from a side supplemental income while working a job to actually turning this thing into a full-time income, possibly, just like how I did and just like how many others did. Now, why futures? First things first, there are a lot of newly imposed restrictions and inaccessibility to platforms in the US. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of traders like myself have been restricted from a lot of brokers on MetaTrader. This is where my heritage platform is, and futures is actually regulated, centralized, and there's no broker spread. You can actually trade most futures brokers right on TradingView, so there's no need for a third-party platform like MetaTrader. There's no need for all of these third-party platforms. There are third-party platforms out there that I'll get into, like Tradeovate and NinjaTrader, but for the most part you can trade directly on TradingView, and it's centralized. There's no spread on the broker, so when you actually execute on TradingView, you actually get executed at that price. There's no funny business or extra fees or anything hidden on that end, which I love a lot. Forex pairs and stocks and a lot of other pairs, even some crypto, you can actually trade on futures. You can trade the Euro futures, the Pound futures, the CAD futures. You guys are not so restricted to just CFD assets. It actually promotes more consistency. Let's say you're trading on a futures broker, the leverage is a lot less, and also with the futures prop firms out there, the consistency rules actually make you be consistent. You can't hit a home run on one day and get a payout just because of one day, right? You need at least two or three consistent days, which actually makes sense, right? Which actually makes sense in the long run. Ticks and contracts, you guys need to understand, if you're coming from the Forex world or you're coming from any other world, ticks are used to measure how much price moves, right? So let's say price moves 5 points in the up direction. These are considered ticks in the futures market. Now, contracts are the amount of risk you put on a trade, similar to your lot size, or whenever you're entering a trade, it's going to ask you what amount are you going to put on that trade. So what amount you're going to put on that trade is how much money you're putting on that trade. Now, an example, if you're catching a 50 pip trade on a 5 lots, in the futures world, that would be you're catching a 50 tick trade on 5 contracts. Now, is that the exact same risk amount and dollar amount on the result? Definitely not. There are different calculations for it. There are different risk tools and risk calculations that you need to understand. But for now, you just need to understand the verbiage of ticks and contracts. For the most part, TradingView has a lot of built-in tools that help you calculate these type of things. What pairs to trade? These are a lot of the popular Forex pairs that actually correlate to the futures market. Number one being GBP USD, which is actually GBP, because there's no USD counterpart to it. So the GBP is actually 6B. That is the futures pair. Euro is 6E. You can actually trade gold. So a lot of people are like, man, I just like trading gold. Well, what if you can just trade gold with no spread, right? And it's GC1. We've got CAD, which is the 6C. Please note, if you're trading USD CAD, the CAD futures is actually correlated inversely. So the opposite, right? With Euro, gold, and Great Britain pound, they're correlated directly. But with the CAD, since the US dollar is at the beginning of USD CAD, CAD is actually inverse. Now, oil, you can trade the CL1. You can even trade S&P, the stocks ES. You can trade NAS, which is NQ. And you can trade US30, which is YM. You can even look at the dollar index. I actually put a star across every single pair that I look at. I suggest that you only pick 2 to 3 and look at them every single day. They always say, if you build something like a habit, imagine if you woke up and got to the gym every single morning. No matter what, even if it was not the best workout, you would definitely be in shape a year from now. Now, imagine if you picked 2 to 3 pairs and you focused on that, even just one. There are some traders that only trade one pair and they're successful, and they only look at that one pair, and every single morning they wake up and they look at that pair. They know that pair like the back of their hand. If you go to that same gym every single day, you're going to know that gym like the back of your hand. So always pick maybe like 1 to 3. Focus on them, and I went ahead and put a star against some of the ones that you could start with. Now, this is simple risk management. Simple risk management, this is kind of the thought process that you need to go through before you even get into a trade. When you're looking to get into the market, don't think about how much am I going to make. Think about how much could I lose, right? You always got to ask yourself, how much am I risking in order to make this money? A lot of people come into trading, a lot of people come into any market and they think about how much they can make, but always calculate how much you can lose at first. First things first, you're going to want to look at which pair am I trading. So as an example, I'm going to start off with the Euro, which is actually the most popular and one of the most common Euro, which is 6E. And you want to look up how much is one contract on that pair. There is a simple tool that I will go over that will teach you how much is one contract on a specific pair. But just for this example, 6E and 6B are the same. Euro and pound are about the same. And it's actually $6.25 on a contract per tick, right? So this is how you can use your formula to understand your contract size, because your contract size is how much risk you're putting on that specific trade. First, you want to understand which pair am I trading. You're going to want to understand which contract, and then you're going to want to use this formula here. And this formula here, let's say you want to risk $500 in a trade. You're going to use your dollar risk amount, $500, divided by how big is your stop loss. So before you get into any trade, you should also know, how big is my stop loss? How much ticks am I looking to risk? How much pips? How much points? How much ticks am I looking to risk on this specific setup? So get that stop loss tick amount, get that dollar risk amount, and then divide it again by the price per contract. Now here's a better example. So again, I'm trading Euro. How much can I afford? You gotta first find out which pair. I'm trading Euro. How much can I afford to risk? I only want to risk $500 in this trade. How many pips or ticks can I risk on this stop loss? Let's say I'm using a 20 tick stop loss, and one contract costs $6.25 on this pair. So what contract? What lot size? What should I use? What risk should I use? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the $500 divided. So we're gonna risk $500. We do $500 divided by how much is my stop loss? My stop loss is 20 ticks divided by 20. That gives us 25. And then we're gonna divide that again by the price per contract. So the price per contract on 6E is $6.25. We're gonna do 25 divided by $6.25, and that equals 4. So with Euro, let's say I'm on this Euro trade, and I'm getting ready to take that trade. I have a 20 tick stop loss, and I only want to risk only $500. I want to make sure no matter what, I only lose $500. I've got all that information. Now, once I've used the formula, our end answer is our risk. How much we want to risk, how much contracts we can place. And after utilizing the formula, I've notice I can only afford to place four contracts, right? Only 4 contracts on this setup, risking exactly $500. So if I want to risk $500 in this setup and make sure that I don't lose anything more than that, 4 contracts is my answer. Now there are a lot of other pairs and other different costs per contracts that you'll want to look into. Here's a simple sheet. Here's a simple guide that you guys can screenshot, look at it. You guys can also look up information based off of your broker as to the cost per contract. This was just a simple example. There are also things called futures risk calculators that you guys can use simply by looking up Google. I will also have a link to a futures risk calculator in the description of this video, and a lot of other tools that I use in my trading to help me calculate risk, make sure that I'm risking a small amount to make a big amount. That's what trading is all about. There's also one built in on the platforms that I use, which I'm going to get into platforms. You will need a trading platform. So once you understand risk management, you understand everything about futures, and you really want to get into it, now you got to get a trading platform. And this is where you're going to look at the charts. This is where you can even execute positions. This is where you can even start practicing with a demo, paper trading, simulated accounts. This is where you can even start today, right? You see all the people on Instagram, you see all the people on YouTube with the charts open. You know, how can I start? How can I start looking at these things? How can I start actually going ahead and making some money? So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to open up TradingView for each and every single one of you guys. Now we have TradingView pulled up, and one of the first things that we need to do as soon as we get in, you should create an account. You guys can create a free account. You don't really need to buy anything quite yet. The premium is pretty cool, but the first thing you're going to go into is Super Charts. Super Charts is where you guys can actually start looking at charts itself. The pairs that I went over with you guys are on my list here. And you know, one of the first things that I do want to go over is that on TradingView, you guys can start marking up your charts. So this right here is for people that you see on Instagram, maybe you see on YouTube, maybe you see us analyzing and looking at markets. TradingView is the first thing we look at. TradingView is the platform, the go-to that everybody starts with. Now, once you're on TradingView right here, looking at stuff, drawing lines, drawing trend lines, looking at higher time frames, lower time frames, obviously there's a strategy that you would build up upon. And once you have that strategy, once you're trading, or even just building that strategy from a mentor, maybe through personal experience, now you go over to trading panel, and this is where you can actually start trading. So one of the main things I need to point out is that with futures, you can actually trade directly on TradingView. The 2 brokers that are the leading brokers that allow you to trade directly on TradingView, and you can actually trade on there as well, is Tradevate and TradeStation. Tradevate and TradeStation are highly regulated brokers. You would never really have issues with Tradevate or TradeStation, and they're directly on TradingView. So that's one of the biggest things I want to point out. Like I was mentioning before, you can actually start with demo accounts on TradingView, which is what a lot of people don't know. You don't need a MetaTrader for a demo. You can actually go onto the trading panel, go on TradingView, and have paper trading right here. And once you connect to paper trading, you have an account balance, you have account positions, and everything. You can actually execute buy positions, sell positions right here on the market. They actually have a little in-house tool that you guys can use to actually calculate your risk, so you guys don't have to actually worry about calculating using the formula. So let's say, for example, you're wanting to put a trade on the Euro futures, and your stop loss, you want to have it at a 20 tick stop loss like I was doing in the example before, and let's say you want to risk maybe $800 this time. It's going to tell you that you need to put a 6 contracts. So let's say you're trading, you're looking at the markets. Trading futures solves a lot of problems because you're marking up charts, you're looking at technical analysis, you're looking at things to go up and down, and let's say you find a really good level that you think price is going to move off of, and it happens very fast. You don't have to go to another platform. You don't need to go to another MetaTrader or another app. You can simply just buy or sell right here on TradingView, connect your broker directly to it, and let's say you don't know what to risk even. The formula I provided should be able to help you do enough mental math. But if you don't want to do mental math and take out the guesswork, right here, this calculator on TradingView, directly for any pair that you're trading, even gold and stocks and other things like that, it'll tell you exactly how much contracts to risk before you get in, and it has a built-in calculator. So you can use the other ones that I give you the link in the bio to, or you could just use the one directly on TradingView. Trade-Evate is something that I want to go over. This is the leading futures broker. So once I log out of paper trading here, TradeStation and Trade-Evate are the two futures options here. And Trade-Evate, you guys can actually go and start a free trial and actually get a free demo account with Trade-Evate as well, or even a live account. TradeStation is also a place where you can go and deposit funds and start a live account. We'll have links to these in the description as well. And here's the thing, with Trade-Evate and TradeStation, let's say you're actually going ahead and taking trades, you can execute directly on here as well. So let's say you wanted to just test out their platforms for some reason. Trade-Evate and TradeStation have a platform that you guys can trade on. Trade-Evate, I like their platform and I like trading on it, but for the most part, you guys can go onto Trade-Evate, start up an account, and get that login from Trade-Evate and actually log in directly onto the broker, live or demo, and actually trade on it. So it's something notable that I want to mention. Now let's talk about scaling up, right? How can you actually start scaling up, right? We all want to know how to make more money, or how to grow our capital, how to actually become wealthy off of trading and not just rich, right? Everybody looks rich, but not everybody is wealthy. And once you played around enough, you want to actually start gaining more capital. You want to grow that $100 to $1,000 or to $500 or to $200, or that $1,000 to $2,000 or to $3,000, and you want to start scaling up. And one of the best ways to do so is to take an evaluation, right? I don't know how struggling it is to actually grow $50 in a trading account over and over and over again to try to make thousands. It's tough. Or even trying to grow 1,000 to make 100,000 or a million. These large percentage gains are unsustainable, and you guys need to start going out there and looking for bigger funds to actually grow, bigger funds to trade with and become funded. You can gain access to larger capital amounts by taking these evaluations, by going to these prop firms, by going to these funding firms and getting funded as a trader, right? If you're skilled enough, you could pass these evaluations easily and gain large amounts of capitals that you guys can trade with and earn high percentage on, like 80-90%. And this allows you to risk way less and potentially make way more and ease your emotions instead of trying to flip that $1,000 to $10,000 overnight, making 10,000% gains. Imagine if you had access to these larger capital amounts where you only had to focus on making 1-2% and make large full-time or even large part-time income with these funding firms. Now, one of the firms that I like a lot that I'm utilizing right now is Take Profit Trader, and they have a lot of promotions going on right now, and you guys can use the link in the description to get a discount on Take Profit Trader accounts. And if you decide not to use the link, you guys can always use promo code, use code HUSTLE. They have a current promotion that's going on right now at the firm. This prop firm and this funding firm is actually a firm that I like a lot because they have Pro Plus accounts and you guys can actually get paid on day one. You don't have to wait 30 days for a withdrawal at this prop firm. You don't have to wait anything once you get past. I strongly urge you guys to actually go through their website and their terms and conditions and check it out yourself. I want to end off by thanking each and every single one of you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the top or from the top.